We're live right now. Well, hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Welcome to 2018, a brand new year. I hope that for everyone who is cold, you're keeping warm. And for everyone's hot, you're keeping cool. Um, Hold on one second here, Davey. I've got the
No worries.
echo. There we go. I
I'm
always,
just getting you up on my other computer so I can get in the chat as well.
yeah, looks like we've already got 12 people there. So,
Wow.
I just wanted to let everyone know. So often, many of the shows are on YouTube that are from the US are basically designed for the prime time on the US side. And so often, you folks in Europe, Australia, and other places in between are left to be getting up or staying up to whatever hour. Uh, and so I want to do something a little different here. I want to have a program once a week where we can give a platform to all of you folks in Europe, Africa. We have viewers all over the world and have an opportunity for you to come in and kind of give your point of view as opposed to always having an America point of view. So, having said that, I would like to introduce to you my good friend, Davie Alexander from Glasgow, Scotland. Welcome,
Hello,
Davie.
hello, Wayne, and hello, everybody in chat. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the show. And may I be maybe one of the first to say welcome to the UK, Wayne?
Well, I can tell you, you are the first. So,
Well, there you go. Welcome to
uh,
Glasgow, I should say.
well, thank you, sir. Beautiful country. Definitely have to get over there sometime.
Very
And
cold country just now.
cold, cold. So, are you getting snow there?
No, no, just frost and rain, unfortunately. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, that's that kind of in between where you wish it would
yeah.
either rain or snow, right?
I,
Uh,
I, I live in the centre of Glasgow, so I think because it's the city and it's so sort of compacted together with buildings, even when it does snow, we don't generally get it, if you know what I mean. I think the heat of the city
okay.
sort of keeps it out, if you know, yeah.
Yeah, I think they call that here an inversion.
An
So,
inversion,
yeah,
a
yeah,
weather inversion.
and an inversion.
That's a new
Because
word for the day, I think.
there you go. We're all learning something. You
Yeah.
know, Davey, I just want to say thank you because you so often moderate most of the chat room discussions
Hmm.
on my channel, and I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're
Um,
very welcome.
well, and you know, it's particularly the lateness of the hour.
There is,
I
there is, there is some mornings I find myself. There's sometimes I have to sit. If I'm going to catch you and Jeff, say on a Wednesday night,
mm-hmm.
that's 3 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't matter
Ay,
what
ay,
happens.
ay, ay,
Yeah.
ay.
So if you decide to do an extra hour, that
Oh,
makes it 4 o'clock for me. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go to bed now, and then I'll get distracted. And the next thing I know, it's like 5, 6 in the morning, and I'm like, dang. So
well, I got to tell you what, we just have a lot of people. Geraldine, hello. Jerry, hello. Carolyn, hello. George,
oh,
hello. David, hello. Natalie, hello. They love your accent.
it,
Uh,
it, it,
Jim
it
Doss,
rolls so fast in there at times. I can see
yeah,
Jeffrey and Joe and
yeah,
David and
yeah.
Lost in Space and Esther. Hello
Uh,
to everybody in chat. I love you guys loads. You are like my best mates at times in there. We have some really great conversations.
yes,
Joining
yes,
the shows, which
yes.
is brilliant as well. That's
Well,
that's one of the things I was going to talk to you about, Wayne. Or I
what's
want to
that? What's
talk to you.
that?
Well, the chat thing. I don't know. Sometimes I feel I take it a wee bit too serious. Maybe. I talk to other subscribers and I talk to other YouTube users, and I frown at them for the way that they don't use their chat. I see it as a huge opportunity to be able to. I've heard you speak recently where you've said, wouldn't it be great to have a cup of coffee with everybody? And,
Yeah.
and it would be absolutely amazing. I done a show with DJ Ransom on Sunday there. It was just an impromptu. He phoned me up and he says, come on and jump on the show. And that was my first time on YouTube. And we were talking about roundtable shows and roundtable shows that what's actually happened is there's a group of about 20 or 30 people strong who are now regularly from your chat room or from Jeff's or various other places. But they're all sort of banding together at last and kind of talking, which is an absolutely fantastic thing. Some of the round table discussions, Raven Wolf channel, Anna Navarro, I think her name is, has been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Well, you know what I realized, Davie, is as I've gotten to get to know you, and Trisha G, she's in here. Hello, Trisha G.
Amazing.
How are you? Carolyn, hello.
Hiya, Trish.
Great, Michelle. You know, I think so often the world can become, I think, so, how should we say, kind of this used to the America point of view. And I think it's important that we get a worldview. And
absolutely.
So that is the purpose of what I'd like to start doing on Tuesdays. And anyone in the UK, anyone over in Europe, of course, it's open to anyone, but I want to make this type of show on Tuesdays at noon my time for anyone over in Europe, whatever, who would come on. You have a story, you've got a platform. And
it'd be great to get a true European sort of perspective as
well. Yes.
I never hear anything from like France or Germany or Italy, and I know there's going to be language barriers maybe at times, like you know, but we can you can work your way around about those things, like you know what I mean. Never mind sort of out with Europe, with sort of maybe Norway and Iceland, Greenland. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Well, I'd love to hear from them, because you and I were talking just before we went live about, hello, Jennifer, how are you doing? About the fact that I said, well, Davie, what's happening in Scotland about UFOs disclosure? And I'll let you answer this, because I went, really? So what's happening in Scotland in particularly in the UK that you know about UFOs? Is disclosure talked about or what?
Sadly, there's one single word answer we can give you, and that's nothing. which is quite sad.
It is.
Considering, but the conspiracy theorist in me, the ufologist in me, the Sherlock in me, if you like.
Yes.
Always has that thing. Well, if there's nothing going on, there must be something going on somewhere, you know. Right where I am just now in Glasgow, there was a place called Bonnybridge, not 20-25 miles from me, up in a place called Falkirk. And 15 years ago, Bonnybridge was called, I think it was the Golden Triangle of the UK. And seemingly it was one of the majorest hotspots for UFO activity in the world, which I find extraordinary, you know. Many moons ago, I think it was about 15, 16 years ago, there was a local councillor had claimed, and I can say this with tongue in cheek, but I mean it with all seriousness. He claimed that he had met Venusians, and they had come down with a message for him for peace and humanity for Earth, and he was going to talk through him, and he had to have public gatherings in Falkirk to bring everybody in. Well, long story short, I think he lost his council seat, and I think he lost a wee bit of reputation. But what did happen from it was, for 10 years, that was like a major hotspot. There's a bit that's called the Antonine Wall. If you look that up,
I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah.
Because that's obviously Roman origins. I think the Antonine Wall was as far as the Romans got in Scotland. I don't quote me on that though. But that's where Bonnybridge is. The Antonine Wall runs right along Bonnybridge, and that was called the Golden Triangle. Now, there's still a couple of wee UFO groups. Sadly, there's a like a Scottish or a British MUFON group. They post on Facebook, and they have kind of social gatherings where they go and show each other pictures and things like this. But there's nothing kind of proactive happening, if you like. Sadly, back in November, our local ufology group, I think it was a Lake District, decided to go out to a really famous site in the Lake District and take photographs. Unfortunately, they took photographs giving the fingers and blue moon and doing all the jokey stuff, and it gave ufology yet another bad name.
Yes, yeah.
So with that kind of stuff going on, there's not a lot of sort of real information out there. I dare say if you to go and search for it, you'll find it, as always. One of the things that I had noticed just in the past couple of weeks was there was a guy called Nick Pope who used to be this, he was like, I don't want to make him sound like Doctor Who, but he was like the special scientific advisor for extraterrestrial researcher life in the UK back in the 90s. He was like Fox Mulder for the UK, if you like. And he was exactly like that. He was like a poster boy for the UK government. You know, MI6 would push him out anytime a flying saucer went overhead anywhere, and he would come out and debunk it. But he done a lot of interesting investigations on the Rendlesham Forest case, which is quite a big and unique case in England. Or Roswell, if you like. And I thought it was funny that with all the disclosure stuff that's sort of popping up in America and the States at the minute. Now, when we say all the disclosure stuff, there's not actually that many of it, but with the disclosure stuff that's popping up, I think it's funny that now Nick Pope rears his head all of a sudden in the UK. So, don't know, maybe fingers crossed, maybe we're going to hear something about Rendlesham. As I say, as with Roswell, it is the one they would tell us about,
well,
and it's the one where there's the most evidence for as well.
Well, that was the one that, got a lot of discussion over here in the U.S. because of the U.S. Air Force.
Military base, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We had nukes there. As you were talking,
I choked him a water.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, don't tell us that we actually have nuclear bombs there.
Get them nukes out of here, Jeff would say.
So, Scotland's got a deep history. I mean, it's got a history greater than the United States. Where do you think things stand in awareness? Are a lot of Scots awakening? Or is it still pretty much dominated by a religious thought or a doctrine or a political? I mean, I don't know that much about Scotland, to be candid with you.
I think here we're always kind of looking for something to follow, to be honest with you. You know, we have our elections every 4 year in Parliament, and now we have our elections every 4 year in the Scottish Parliament. 2 seconds, Wayne. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my door that's buzzing away.
Go ahead. As the host here, I can take over on these type of situations. So hello, everyone in the chat room. How are you? Jessica May, good to see everyone. Isn't it a great day? I mean, I don't know. I woke up this morning literally just charged up. I don't know. Maybe I slept really well. But anyway.
I'm back.
and Davie, I have to say, I love the attire. I mean,
did you notice my tie? I done my tie especially for you.
I like this. I mean, I feel almost underdressed because it's like, oh my God.
Not at all. I have a thing about waistcoats. Don't worry about it. It's just my thing.
I like it. You know, a lot of people don't know me from my corporate days, but that was standard attire. Mine was...
I don't know. It's a bit of a gamekeeper thing with me. It goes back to my days as being a ranger. I'm a trained forester and gamekeeper.
Okay, so you're. That's a little bit about. Tell us about who is Davie.
Well, I don't know. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can get all the sad stories.
And what is your YouTube channel?
It's now called Expanding the Process.
Ooh, I like that. Expanding the Process. All right, folks, get over there. Let's boost him up and let's get some subscribers going for Davie. So
I just reached my 2020th view today.
All right.
I was so happy about it. That was really cool. Yeah.
You know, listen, I still appreciate each time that I see a new subscriber and you see that count is.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of gives you validation. Before we get to who Davie is, I want to expand on something you said about the chat room. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me that as a moderator, you really do have the pulse on the audience.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Oh, I would almost absolutely assure it, because who
Yeah.
would have it more than you, or
I think
any moderator?
I don't want to sound. I think maybe this is one of the problems I've had in the past. I have got a huge ego, Wayne. Yeah, and I don't make any odds about that. You know, the jobs that I've had in the past, I've stood in front of crowds and crowds and crowds of people and took them walks and gave them talks and all that kind of garbage. So I don't have any problem speaking. I don't have any problem speaking out as well. I'm quite a forthright person.
No, you seem to
So
be very articulate and very
yeah.
extroverted in your personality.
So when you see something, I find it really difficult to kind of sit back and not mention it or not talk about it. And for my 4 year, I would say I've been on YouTube, and I'd say in the past 2 years, all the chat rooms have started popping up. I used to go into chat rooms back in the 80s when we were all still using Amstrad CPCs and BBC Acorns and such forth.
Wow, you're old.
I know.
I'm kidding you.
So I used to use Napster, and I used to go into the chat rooms when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And it was a great thing, you know. I suffered depression when I was younger as well, you know. And the chat rooms at that time, making that connection with people, that was a great thing, and I seen that at that age. And later on in my life, you know, similar situations, I found friendship, or I found help, or I found companionship through that medium, let's say. Now, that's all well and good, but it can be used for so much more, you know. Just the fact that me and you are talking just now, and we're transatlantic, that's absolutely crazy, you know.
It is. It is.
I've sat in chat rooms. I had a wee whiskey at the Bells at New Year, and I don't normally drink. And I was going to sit up and watch you guys the Elite Project.
Yes.
But I had a wee whiskey at the Bells my end, and I still had 4 hours to wait for your end. So unfortunately, I never made it, and I fell asleep.
Well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, I gotta say that was just a great show. Rex,
it was fantastic, Wayne. It was absolutely brilliant. But not a complaint, just an observation. Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah, imagine what it would have been like if the chat room could have been controlled. You know, and I don't like the word control by any means, shape, or form. But if there was some sort of control just over that little box for discussion, then it could be so much more. You know, I think.
Yeah,
that's my passion. I think that's one of the things that I'm going to bring to YouTube and try and sort of build on, if you like. Yeah.
Excellent. You know, and innovation is still the thing. I mean, the fact that we can have interactive communication even on a text platform, it's just, you know, I remember the movie 2001 and the great scene where, you know, the doctor had gotten up to the basically the halfway point. And he goes in to make a video conference call. And I was observing this weekend that, you know, virtually all phones have the video connection. You could actually do the option to do a video call.
Yeah.
We don't want video calls.
They didn't want phones.
No, we don't want our picture out there. You know, there are just sometimes you don't want that option. And, you know, back in the 70s when 2001 came out, that was like the Jetsons, the flying cars. We now know that flying cars are not such a good idea. You know, it just isn't. We don't have a handle on the cars we have today.
I was watching a bit of Elon Musk earlier on today.
Yes.
I don't know whether I love him or whether I hate him. I really don't. I think the man's an absolute genius or an absolute con man. And I just don't know how to take him. But he was talking about, I think it's is it Detroit or Los Angeles? I may be totally wrong. That he's building the tunnels under.
Yeah, it's Los Angeles. Yeah,
Los Angeles. Yeah. So he was talking about that, and they were saying, you know, why are you going underground or whatever? And he's like, well, if we go if I had to build a tunnel underneath your house and I had to go at least 3 tunnel depths down, you wouldn't feel a thing. You wouldn't know that I was there. And I can increasingly go down. It's not like there's a limit, obviously, and you're like, oh, don't, you know, you must know something that we don't, if there's a limit or if there's no a limit, you know what I mean? But he was saying you can go a limit, and he was talking about doing, I think it was a hyperloop for some, it was like Dallas to maybe, I'm trying to do my geography, maybe California, Florida or something like that.
Yes, yep.
But it was massive, and I was like, this is really good. And the joke here was, he was saying, you know, he'd been talking to some highfalutin politicians and scientists, and they had asked him the same question: why are you doing tunnels, Ethan? Elon, why are you going under the ground, and why no go up? And he's like, well, like, flying cars are just, it's not feasible.
It's not.
He was like, we could build them, it'd be great, but can you imagine all the cars? He says, you'd be walking about wondering that everybody had their hubcaps tightened on in case you get decapitated walking along the road or something like that, you know?
Yeah, could you imagine road rage, you know, at 1,000 feet? Holy crap.
Yeah. I don't fancy the hyperloop that much either, but well, yeah.
You know, I was watching Jennifer Collins' show this morning that she had put out on this UFO, the whole disclosure, and she really had a kind of interesting point, is that were we really seeing the ushering in of what is truly the new world order? You know, are we seeing the fact that, and, you know, I think this has a lot to do with Scotland, the UK. I mean, there's a lot of strange stuff's going on with the royal family these days. Is there not?
I learned for the first time last week, Rothschild's estate. I didn't know that there was a Rothschild estate in the North England. Now that's good 40, 50 mile away from me. I don't know. It was funny when I heard about it, because I was like, you know, if the Rothschild were going to have an estate in the UK, you'd think it'd be north of Scotland.
You would think.
Like a grand Highland estate with a castle and all the rest of it, deer hunt and all that. But yeah. So I found out, I don't know where it is yet, but I've heard that there's this Rothschild estate in North England. As a ranger and an ex-countryside person, I think it's only my right to go and ramble and have a wee look about that place and see.
Did you say that you were a ranger? Did I hear that?
I was, Wayne. I was a countryside ranger or a district ranger for about 12 and a half years.
Interesting. You know, folks, by the way, I'm learning Scottish. As Davie talks,
I was going to see.
So
you're doing really well with the accent so far.
And I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I mean, you know, I feel like that hamster, you know, it's like, I'm running. Well, go and tell us a little bit about Davie. I mean, because I think it's, you know, the technology is great, but I want to know the person. And I think that we've got over 130 people in this, the chat room. Tell us about Davie and give us a little bit about yourself, because, you know, listen, when I hear any soul tell me that any soul that has overcome depression, that tells me that this is a soul that's going to make it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Davie, you and I talked months and months ago, and I remember the first video you did, you said it was taking a walk, and that was the first time, as you were talking, you were showing the video of the park.
Yeah.
And I felt that I was a part of Davie.
Wow, that's excellent.
Okay, so
I get so much nice responses back from the videos that I done, when it was almost overwhelming. It really was.
Good.
I feel humanity. I think that's one of the things I'd like to say about myself. I feel humanity. I don't know what it was, but for a very young age, I've always been sort of in tune with nature. But maybe a wee bit more than just in tune with nature. I would say in tune with the land, in tune with the ground, and in tune with earth, you know.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. I've always felt that. There's a really strange thing happened to me a couple of months ago. Wee book. This is Adam Ardley, Finding Merlin. I don't know if you can see that.
Let's hold it right there. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yep.
So,
Okay, got it.
so I came across this about 3 months ago. I've not read it yet. I don't read books. I've got a really bad habit of going and collecting books and then looking about them on the internet and not reading them, you know. But I will. So anyway, in that book, long story short, I live in Glasgow just now in a place called Woodlands. There's a wee place down the road called Partick. That's where I used to live, and it's still part of Glasgow. Partick is on the River Clyde in the middle of Glasgow. I'm from a wee place called Muir Hill, which is just outside Motherwell. That's where I was born. The Clyde runs through Motherwell. So the Clyde's always sort of been a mainstay in my life. No matter kind of where I've been in Scotland, the Clyde's always been there. I used to go fishing when I was a kid. I would go walks up and down there when I was a kid. I volunteered in an RSPB nature reserve when I was 14-year-old and 13-year-old, and it was on the Clyde as well. So kind of loads of relevance to the Clyde, and it's always been a big thing in my life. So I found out through this book that this man claimed that Merlin lived in Partick. And not only did he live in Partick, but if you go back through historical record and where houses were placed, he actually lived round the corner from me in Partick. Oh, all a bit. This is saying Merlin is real.
Yes,
and we are giving it a few hundred years, I guess.
Yes.
But I've always had a fascination with the Arthurian legend. I've always had a fascination with Excalibur, and I've always felt an affinity with Merlin. All my life, my whole life, I would say I was into Merlin before I was into ufology. I would say that King Arthur was probably the stories and the legends that I read when I was a kid that made me collect comics, that made me get into all of this stuff, yeah? So I find out that Merlin could have quite possibly, if he lived round the corner from where I'm staying in Partick. I thought it was amazing. I read further into the book, and I read that Merlin stayed in Partick as a young man, but as a child, he grew up in a place called Hamilton. Hamilton twins the River Clyde with Motherwell, where I used to stay. And the nature reserve that I used to play in as a kid, fish in as a teenager, and work in as an adult was where Merlin would have been playing at the same time. It's an ancient woodland. Yeah, it's an ancient woodland that surrounds the River Clyde. So there's if Merlin really existed, there's definitely trees in that woodland that would have been there when he would have been there. But I'll go one further than that.
Well, I just like to add that, I used to do a lot of naturing. There was a time I was hunting and then I got out of it. But I have always found old forests are full of spirits.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They speak to you. They're there.
Yeah.
So could we just, because I want to hear more. Okay, you were going to finish. I'll let you finish. But let's talk about Merlin when you finish your point.
Okay. Well, it was just that this one thing, this stone comes from the River Clyde, at the corner, at the kind of crossing of Hamilton and Motherwell. I picked this stone up when I was 14-year-old.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've always had. I don't know if I can get it on camera again. I've always sort of had it, and I collect stones. I've got a thing about when I go out a walk, I'll pick a stone up from where I am and put it in my pocket. And then I'll go on the walk and I'll put the stone down where I finish the walk, pick another one up and bring it back with me. And I don't know what it is. It's just something about the movement of stones I really like, and the age of them. So I now have the wonderful thought that this stone that I've been carrying about all my life could quite possibly have been handled by none other than Merlin as a child. And I think that connection is absolutely astonishing. Absolutely astonishing.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, I think so often we are so calloused in our awareness and our perceptions is that the ground that we walk on has been walked on before by the ghost of millions of years past.
Yeah. All of the years past.
Yeah. So when you talk about this forest, let's talk about that, because I think one of the lures that I've often had growing up here in the States was about England, Scotland, Ireland, that whole area there, to me, always held mysticism.
Mm-hmm.
You
We
know,
used to
if
be called the Wild Wood, you know.
I did not know that.
Most of Scotland at one point, from about the Lake District up, would all have been known as the Wild Wood, which then became the
Ah,
Wildlands, which then became I can never remember whether it was called Gael or whether it was called Scotia.
okay.
And then finally, after Christian rule, it became Scotland. Yeah.
Okay, because it has to, you think about this, even from a religious point of view in Christianity. I mean, if it not be for Scotland, I dare say we would not have the young King James.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, is that not true?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I am correct that his whole problem was, particularly about you Scots, were that you guys were into the occult.
Well, that's a strange you say that, Wayne.
Oh, yes, see, yes, see.
No, only actually. I was. This is a sidetrack again. I'm sorry.
No,
I was, I
no.
was, I was on it earlier thinking, I'll need to find something on Google that I can go into Wayne show with. And the only one thing that I could actually find was Occult Files released early 20th of December. I don't know if
Oh,
you heard about them, but it was in connection with the Dan Brown as well.
oh, really?
Yeah. Seemingly it was like 22,000 Occult Files was released.
Wow.
I've not read the story yet. I just kind of skimmed through it. But Dan Brown has some sort of connection with it. And it got me thinking again about Dan Brown a wee bit. Like my Nick Pope character. He's not been about for a wee while. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden we have disclosure and Dan Brown sort of getting, well, I nearly said he's getting pushed out again, but like
Yeah.
he's sort of popping up, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
As you were talking, I was thinking that I would love to be able to go into one of those old forests, those old growth
Oh,
forests,
yeah.
and have a meditative session to where we could literally just put our hands and feel what the story that those trees could tell. The American Indian here, their beliefs are replete that the fact that everything has a spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the trees are the ones that have the wisdom of the
Yeah.
spirits.
Yeah. There's a place, well, a number I could go on about, but there's one very special place, which is it's kind of, I think it's north of Inverness, very north of Inverness, and it's called Abernethy. It's famous because it's got a big safari park, and they have animals there that are no longer in Scotland. So it's animals that have been extinct to Scotland, like
Okay.
wolf and bear and stuff like that. Very good biscuits as well, Abernethy biscuits. But the other thing that's good about Abernethy is it's the ancient Caledonian pine forest. And it's the
Is
only remnant left of the ancient Caledonian pine forest.
is that
So
right?
there's Scots trees there that are presumed to be maybe 500-600 year old. Yew trees that are maybe older than that. I don't know. I have arguments with people that there's yew trees. I think there's yew trees that are maybe a couple of 1,000 year old.
Yeah.
Scone Palace, famous for the Seat of Kings, or a Stone of Destiny, is where the Stone of Destiny was supposed to have been stolen from Scone Palace back in the 70s and took to Westminster or whatever. But one other thing that Scone Palace is famous for that people don't rightfully know about, or maybe it's not true. I was told, and I've always been led to believe, that Pontius Pilate came from Perth. And that on Pontius Pilate birthday, number one, on his first birthday, they planted a yew tree in the grounds of Scone Palace. Now,
Is
there's this yew tree in the grounds of Scone Palace, and it's very, very big, and it's very, very old. That old that they can't date it. Yeah, because there's no inner bark to it. It's all on the outside, if you know what I mean, and growing up from the outside. But I don't know if it's popular belief or not, but the saying was that was planted by Pontius Pilate.
well,
So the
you
memories that trees could tell you if they were true.
it's true. And
Mm.
one of the things that people who really get into Roman history one of the interesting things I always found was why there was such this connection to Britannia and Rome. And if you really begin to read some of the letters that the soldiers that were in the legions would write back home about, is that they were very much in awe of the Druids. And as you were saying, they did not get all the way into Scotland. They got to a certain point, and then for some reason,
I think it was like Northumberland or the Lake District, like Yorkshire area. So
yes, I think it was.
Yep. As soon as they hit Howes, that was it.
Yeah. And then I think about the Scots as well, is that if you look at the legend of the Apostle Paul, you know, there is a document out there, the 29th chapter of the book of Acts, where Paul goes up to Britannia and then goes to Scotland and then goes over and starts, you know, apparently, you know, dealing with the Druids.
Well, you know,
go ahead.
You know that we are supposed to have the Grail.
Yes.
I don't know how true that is, but a friend of mine used to stay. It's an ex. I don't know how to say that.
Yes.
My ex stays up in Orkney, and I visit him up there every now and again. And the very first time I went up there, I went to St Magnus's Cathedral, and in the doors of St Magnus's Cathedral in Orkney is it's all carvings of the Knights Templar.
Oh, really?
Rosslyn Chapel. People say it's a map, but it's all squares. So it's all different squares, and it's all stories in the squares.
Well, if you're ever up there again, take some of those pictures. We'll do a show on that.
I try and do that. One of the places I'm hoping to get to quite soon is Rosslyn. I want to go to Rosslyn Chapel just to have a wander around about. But there's a cave underneath Rosslyn that's not so well known. Off the beaten track, through a bit of woodland, down a hill, and along a burn under a waterfall, and you end up in this cave. And
really?
It goes under Rosslyn Chapel. I've been told that it's not accessible, but as I said, I used to be a countryside ranger. I'm sure I'll find some way in.
I would say yes. So let me ask you, is the legends true about the castles? I hear that Scotland and any one more country, even than England or Ireland, and even though around, is that you have a lot of castles.
Yeah. There's a lot of demolished castles as well. Yeah, which I find funny. I think it was a landowner thing, to be honest with you, Wayne. You know,
really?
I think it goes back to the days of the clans and stuff like that. You know, a chieftain maybe getting a wee bit of buff to sell and being like, oh, I want a big house or whatever. Certainly we have big castles, but there's a lot of big houses as well, and a lot of kind of big knocked down houses, like rubble that have been lying for a couple of 100 years and stuff like that.
You know, I keep on, as you talk, I only, you know, you always can project and wish, is that the fact that there is such history, and that's one of the things that I really am drawn to, is like, for instance, Scotland, Ireland. I could go to Germany. My roots go into Germany.
I would love to go to Germany. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe one time we'll see if we can get this bus going. But
Black Forest, the Black Forest. We could have Black Forest in the Black Forest. That would be amazing.
Yeah, because I think that, you know, we could go and approach this on a different level. Could you imagine getting a tour that instead of going to see the sights, we go to pick up the energy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, honestly, may have come up with a great idea.
I honestly don't know why that isn't like a huge thing just now.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to see the structure so much. What I'd like to do is touch the ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that was one of my big battles this year, Wayne, and I think I'm being careful of myself not to get like on YouTube. Yeah, but as I said, I was a ranger for all of these years, 12 years. And then sort of 10, 12 years after that, I've been doing community projects, you would call them. Building nature gardens for schools.
Sure.
Taking kids out walks. Everything that I've done in the past 10 years has came under the banner of climate change. Yeah? So I've been what's known as a climate challenge officer.
Oh.
I go into people's homes and tell them how to heat their homes properly or better, you know. Tell them how they can save money and stuff like that. But at the same time, show them how to grow vegetables, show them how to exercise, should take them outside and try and introduce them to the outdoor life. Be honest with you, I get sick of it. I get absolutely sick and tired of it, because for 10 and a half years of doing it, I was doing the same project in and out every single year, and it never changed until a couple of years ago. I was at a school I worked in as a ranger almost 20 years ago, redoing the garden that I had done up previously because it had been lying disused for almost 12 years. And I was like, what's the point to all of this? You know, it was I see it now as being charities kind of grabbing for money and doing projects for 2-3 years at a time and then packing it up and sort of moving on, you know what I mean? So when my work has been a ranger and in all those conservation projects, I work with a large amount of volunteers. And what I started seeing was a lot of disheartened people because they weren't getting what they expected from the service that was supposed to be provided for them, if you like, you know. And that disheartened me, not only with the fact that I didn't believe in climate challenge or climate change or whatever you want to call it, but I couldn't theoretically go out there and just sort of play to that, if you like, you know. So I'm bringing this with me to YouTube. And as we go back to the chat stuff and as we talk to people, this is the passion that I want to kind of bring with me, you know, to help rally it's not just about my channel, it's about everybody else's channel, it's about everybody else. It's all having that one voice, you know, and I feel very strongly about that.
Well, and I tell you, I'm a supporter and advocate of that. Listen, I look at all these great people in here. You know, I could take Debbie Bailey, you know, Gary Baxter. I can just look at some of these folks.
I see Raven Wolf and Scratch.
Yeah,
and hey, guys,
I see that guy. And
Raven Wolf had an absolutely brilliant roundtable session just over the weekend there, Wayne. And I'm sure she's done another one on Monday, and it's a weekly thing we are now, which is absolutely brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you what, Raven Wolf, I'd love to be a part of that. Love to have you over here, bring the group over. I think that this is what, you know, so many of my research projects are dealing with that, as you saw with Rex when we were on there, dealing with the transhumanization of...
doing a video tonight.
Okay, yeah. But
second party Mayo, I won.
It's these kind of discussions that where we can go back into our roots, we can go back into the past, we can identify with that. And it's not to say that it's to retard the future, but what it allows us to do is to keep our humanity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, because I don't know any Scots, but I do now. I have a friend known as Davie. I know that this is a man who loves people. I know this is a man who loves the earth. This is a man who has compassion. He has ideas.
Gracious of you to say.
Well, it's just
make me blush.
Well, it is, and I think that so often we get into this competition as YouTube creators that, you know, we want to get into this and we want to get the latest story.
I think the whole thing of a YouTube career is a misnomer in itself, I think.
Yeah, and what we pass up is that the fact that we're right here.
That's it.
We don't need every research project that I could think of. I could go to anyone in the 130 plus people.
You would have all the information.
Exactly. That's my point. I could get everything I need right there. And why don't we start using that? That's what I want to build this platform out for.
I think that was why I started expanding the process.
I love that.
What I wanted to do was expand the process. Yeah.
Well, you see the psychic connection already, Davie?
Absolutely. It was funny when you Gmail, they sent me the email earlier, and then literally I had 2 seconds just sent you the Facebook message and came off. Turned round about and you'd sent the email, and I was like, oh, there we go again.
Oh, I'll tell you.
There was something there I was going to say to you. Just quickly.
All right.
Elon Musk again.
Yes, yes.
You mentioned YouTube careers, yeah? I tell you a quick funny, well, it's not really, I think it's a funny story, but it maybe not be that much of a funny story. So everybody knows I've been unemployed for almost a year. My depression and my bipolar, I've been suffering it quite bad this year. Managed to get a grip on things over the past couple of months. And it was suggested to me that I might think about becoming self-employed again. I used to be self-employed as a community developer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd say at the time, I don't think it's that much a good idea. I'm kind of finding myself just now. I'm on medication. I want to go away and kind of do that. But the pressure keeps getting put on you. So my local job centre asked me a couple of months back, what do you do day to day, David? I know you get a walk and all the rest of it, but if you're on your own, what do you do day to day? And I was like, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Oh, you should go out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I do. I go out and I walk and I go shopping and I feed myself. But, I don't go to the pub and drink for 5 hours, I might not go to the cinema anymore, but I don't watch EastEnders on the television. But in all of these things that I don't do anymore, I spend some useful time researching, having a laugh and talking to my friends on YouTube. And they're like, oh, if only you could make money out of that. She said laughingly, yeah. I came home that night, and that was 2 months ago. I came home that night, and within half an hour, I wrote up a business plan for a YouTube channel. And I thought, there's no way on earth that they would go for this. I had just got my Cosmic Decky initiation.
Yes, from Barbara DeLong.
Yes. Yeah. And that happened the night that you had her on the channel. I went eBay and found them for £6 that night, and it was a bargain night. And again, it was some sort of psychic thing in the air.
Yeah.
So
love Barbara.
A couple of the guys on YouTube had reacted to me doing my first reading of the cards. Yeah. And they'd said, Davie, you should do readings and people will give you donations. And I was like, well, I wouldn't think of that. There's no anything. I'm no psychic for a start. That's like,
probably
I'm
more
just a
psychic than you realize. But
so I went away and I thought about it, and I was like, to hang with it, I'm going to do it. And I went to the job centre and I said to them, look, I can do life skills coaching or life skills counselling online, if you like, and I have tools that I would use to do that, and people will pay me like maybe £10 or £20 for a reading. It's like that could be a wee business. I could do that. Give them the business plan. But I even put tarot in the business plan, Wayne, and they accepted it.
Outstanding. Congratulations.
I didn't think that they were going to. So they gave me the sum total of £150 at the start of December to get me started in business. And so we're working on that, and we're keeping going with it. But there was something I was thinking about it, and and this will only work in the UK, obviously. I don't know if it works in the States, if you get such a thing as like unemployment benefit or social security help or whatever that is. But
no, not over here on that. But there are, I think, a lot of opportunities. I think that. Go ahead. I'm digressing. I think this is fantastic what you're talking about.
I don't perceive. And I never will ask for money as long as I'm here. Yeah, that's not what this is about. For me, my YouTube was about me getting better and me finding myself and me being on the path that I'm at. And I don't know where I'm going, but I've met all of these people. I know people really well now. I feel safe and comfortable with them, and I'm a happier person now than what I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. I know that for an absolute fact.
You see, this validates the whole reason why we do what we do here. There are so many good people in here. And Davie, just to hear what you're saying, and listen, I'm kind of like you. It's like, well, if you'll watch the ads, that's good enough for me,
Right, there you go.
Exactly.
I get 3 copyright strikes a day on a video that I'd done. And
really?
I was like, but I can't make money on my videos. So why am I getting copyright strikes?
Yeah,
and why wouldn't I bother if I want to use somebody's tune that I like? Why wouldn't I bother that they get the money for it? It's their tune. Yeah. So I thought it was funny. I think it was strange that I was getting a copyright strike on. There's absolutely no way that I would be monetized anyway.
I used to, in a different life, that's what I did. I was a CEO and I worked for startups and did turnarounds. And as I continue to see this platform here, I often think about that where we could almost start our own venture community. I'm a person who believes that the best way to financial independence is to be your own boss. And now, not everybody can, not everyone is out for that. But I've talked to Trisha G on an idea that, what companies today are looking for is how can I better identify the potential of the employee I'm either looking to hire or have hired.
Mm-hmm.
And what we fail to have done as a society and as corporate America is that we've excluded the spirituality aspect of who we are. And that is understanding numerology, understanding Vedic astrology.
Understanding yourself.
Exactly. That is my point. And people like yourself who have the life experiences, who could go into a company and say, listen, this is what life
generally is going to happen.
Yeah. And there's just tremendous ideas across here. But anyway, David, we've almost been an hour. I have to tell you, I just
I'm sorry if I'm keeping you for your dinner, Wayne.
Oh, are you kidding? It's noon here. I don't. So, and it's cold outside. Not near as cold. No, I don't usually eat lunch. It's that old adage,
Yeah, I'm a breakfast. I like breakfast.
Exactly. Eat like a king at breakfast, eat like a prince at lunch, and eat like a pauper at dinner. You'll live longer. Well, Davie, so what's the future hold for you, my friend? Where do you want to go? And one of the things I just like to do, I love to sow into people's lives, and this is giving you a platform. What do you see for your channel and your vision of growth?
I think one of the big things, I want to try and get back into putting myself out there. I don't think that there's a lot of people that really do put themselves out there. I'm sitting here, Wayne. I've suffered childhood abuse. I've suffered rape. I don't have any family. I'm on my own. I've just spent 2 weeks without seeing another human person.
Well, that's not healthy.
No, I totally agree that it's not healthy, but it's manageable. And that's one of the things that I want to try and get across to people through YouTube. That you might be suffering for the worst depression, you might be suffering for the worst anxiety, but there is always one wee thing that you can do. And you just need to find what that one wee thing is. And once you do, like that, the spark, everything, the goodness will start coming back in. All you need to do is find that one wee thing, With me, it was nature. And I think with me going back outdoors and enjoying nature, I gave myself time. Well, what happened was I went out and started going out walks, and I made a conscious effort not to watch television. So I've not watched television in 6 months. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you know, Wayne, but you've known me for about 4 years on and off with various other channels and such forth and so on.
Yep.
So in all of that time, I've never been able to kind of get my YouTube channel again. And I've always been trying. I've always wanted to, just never been able to do it. Gave television up 6 months ago, and the difference that's made alone is unbelievable. I broke my phone 3 months ago, and I've not been able to repair it. Neither do I want to repair it anymore because the difference that this has made to me is absolutely unbelievable. There's it's not even disconnecting, because I'm not disconnecting. I'm sitting here talking to you here, but there is a disconnection because I've no got a phone, because I'm no watching the news, because I'm no taking part. I said to somebody the other week here, look, this is it at the end of the day. I'm stepping back. I no longer want to take part in your society. And I'm stepping back to watch humanity and make my own judgments as they come to me. And he thought I was being suicidal.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't mean it like that. I was like, I just, listen to what I'm saying, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, I'm just stepping back for your society, because I don't like it anymore. I don't want to be a part of it anymore, you know?
Wow. If this isn't a testimony on awakening, I have never heard a better one. You know, Davey, I just want to suggest this. What you should document what you've gone through,
Yeah,
because
well, that was what I was trying to attempt on YouTube. Things got a bit dark for me, and I found myself making some dark videos, and I didn't want to do that. But with hindsight now, looking back at it, I'm kind of glad I did, because I'm all about. I said from the very beginning, if you go back and watch my first video, I said you're going to get all tears, you're going to get all joy, you're going to get all the passion, you're going to get everything, you know, because I'm not going to hold back here, and I'm going to put everything out for everybody to see, because I'm a 45-year-old. I've had 2 successful careers in my life. I'm 45-year-old. I'm awakened. I'm highly intelligent. I'm passionate as hell about anything that I'm into, and I'm sensible. I know what's what, but I also know that there's something chemically or whatever. I don't know. I still say that I might be the next step in evolution. Who knows? You know, who knows what bipolar or autism is? Who knows what depression is at the end of the day? It's all a mindset, I think, you know.
Well, I still say the fact that you've been able to disconnect from television, even disconnecting from the cell phone.
Never even watched the Hugmanay show.
You see, you need to write that down, because you see, I find.
And you know what else is amazing about that, Wayne? Sorry to just
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look at behind my wall, you'll see my comics, yeah? So I've collected comics since I was 5-year-old, yeah?
Yes.
I'm a huge, but stay there 2 seconds, yeah?
Okay, all right. Love this guy, folks. Love this guy. I mean, just right down to earth. This is what it's about, folks. This is what it's about. It's a community. And let's support him. We can do that as a group.
Just because it puts a point on it, so to speak. I'm a huge WWF wrestling fan.
I love it. Okay.
So that's how huge a fan of wrestling I am. I have an authentic WWF
heavy, I see that.
As worn by Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold, and The Undertaker. Yeah.
Wow.
It's my pride and joy.
Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it.
I've not missed one show of Monday Night Raw, Tuesday night or Friday night SmackDown, or one pay-per-view that the WWF, TNA, or the old WCW or the NWA have put out in the past 13 years. Apart from this past 6 months. And I didn't consciously switch off. I just stopped watching.
That is amazing. I got to tell you what, Davey, I'm proud of you. That to me, listen, you know, people may not think that that's any big deal, but to me, it's akin to any person who has a normal routine that it becomes a part of your life, and it's a pleasurable part.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so monotonous. It's unbelievable. That's one of the things that I never realised, that my life had became so monotonous, so routine, so rigid as well. You know, I used to call myself spontaneous. I was nothing like that when I was, you know. I think how spontaneous I probably could have been. So maybe I was holding back for good reasons. But like, it's amazing when you feel it. When you know you have that freedom. I was sitting here today, and a friend came up and he was sitting, and he's like, "So how you doing?" He thought I'd be a bit down, New Year, blah blah, me and Big Mama on, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, "No, child." So that would be a great couple of days. You know, I'm looking forward to stuff on YouTube. I've got 2 videos I've done today. I've been really creative. I was out a walk this morning. Can't he hold me back? You know what I mean?
Davey, I think the path that lies before you is one that is going to give you great opportunity. I can see it within you, my friend, that there is a channel. Barbara DeLong said this many times, and she is so right on this. If we never find the path that we were meant to be on, and many times we so cut off our creative aspect, And Davie, I see you as that type of a person. You have this creativeness about you that's been wanting to come out, but
Yeah.
because of life choices, it never had the opportunity to.
I worked in a place for 3 years doing community projects called the Sculpture Studios in Glasgow. And it's an artist community, all full of different people. I built a nature garden for them and some raised beds, and we grew some veg and stuff.
See.
In the 3 years that I was there, most of the artists that I worked with kept arguing with me because they kept telling me that I was an artist and that I didn't know that I was an artist. I was an environmental artist. That what I'd done when I went out and impassioned people, or what I'd done when I went to people walks, that was me being creativity, and that was my painting, or that was me drawing, or that was whatever. And it's took me a long time, and myself to realise that. Maybe I was a bit ashamed to call myself an artist because I can't paint, or because I can't draw, or because I can't play a musical instrument. But I tell you one thing that I'm damn good at, Wayne, it's making videos.
There you go, my man.
So I think that's where my stick is. You just mentioned Barbara DeLong there. So on the first interview that you done with her, I'd got my cosmic deck, yeah?
Yeah.
And at my table here, my setup, I've got a big glass panel that I keep notes under. And under is one of the notes that was there from that night that she wrote, which I think absolutely sums up everything that we've been talking about. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read it, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Absolutely.
You'll know it as soon as I say it. This was Barbara DeLong on the night of the interview. She made it up. The element of creativity is the channel from which spirituality flows to manifest within your own reality. And I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's sat in my desk since then. I think it's been about 4 or 5 months. And every morning I look at that. And I think maybe that's, I'm not going to say it's powered me up, but it's definitely one of the things that's been.
No, I think you've spoken that in her life. That's what I love about what Barbara does, is that
Barbara's amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, her words, if you take them and you start, listen, we all cast spells every day upon us. I tell people all the time, but if you would start saying some of her stuff is powerful, and Davie, you are I think seeing the benefit of it.
I was going to ask you about your Mandela, Wayne.
Yes, I've almost got it done.
Is it finished? Do we have to wait before we?
Yeah. I only got just a little corner left.
Cool. How did you go about getting it? Is it just like a Mandela you've got offline, or has it been designed for you?
No. I took Barbara's advice and I went out and bought Mandela coloring books.
Wow, excellent.
And
we call that doodling in Scotland.
Yeah, and I used to call it creative challenges. Oh, well, listen, everyone. Davie, I just want to say thank you, sir.
No, thank you, sir. It's been a laugh. It's been an absolute giggle and an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
The honor has been all of ours, Davie. You are a good soul and a good man. And
thank you,
it's an honor to call you friend. And
you too, brother. You too.
All right. So before I go, tonight, show here in the States, 7:00 Denver time.
We're going my time, I think.
Yeah, I think so. A little late, but
I'll probably be about.
Yeah, I'll put it on tape delay. We will be having Deborah, and that's all I'm going to give you, Debbie's first name, but Debbie is an abductee.
Oh, wow.
And has been a targeted individual since childhood.
Wow.
And we're going to discuss the challenges that those who have been abductees, what they have to go through, what life is like for them.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to find the discussion very, very interesting.
Absolutely. That's another quick one just to throw at you there, actually, is people growing up with autism who may be abducted and not be aware that they're being abducted, or not being able to get that information out there. I think when you look at kind of mental health problem and the rises in mental health problems, I wonder if there's any correlation with the drop in abductees as that rose up,
I don't know. That's something to look into. I'll look into that. And then Friday night, I am very pleased to announce I have Dr. Richard Allen Miller.
Excellent. I'd heard you talk about him over the
Yes,
weekend, and I was
yes.
really looking forward to the show.
He's been on Rex Bear on the Leak Project. He has been on numerous radio, televisions, written books. This man you want to hear about. I just read his paper that will be in, I think it is Nexus Magazine, I believe, in February.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But his article on understanding reality from a physicist position. I sent him my video that I did. Can a person's timeline be altered? And he wrote back and he simply said, yes, yes, yes. So anyway, all right, Davie, big
Answer that
guys.
Yes, high five to Sel, and hello and goodbye to everybody in the chat room. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Be blessed. We will talk to all of you a little bit later on this evening. All right, folks.